You ready to go?
I am.
M for meat, folks.
M for meat. The curing chamber was looking empty and sad. We're changing that today. We're going to be loading it up with a bunch of salami. We actually already have a big load of Landjäger that's ready to go in there, right?
Oh, yeah. So excited.
Moose Landies. And we're going to make some Genoa and some spicy Genoa salami here. So we've got a whole bunch of pork butt, like almost 10 kilograms of it. That's pretty heavy, right?
That's going to be a lot of salami.
I need to work out just so I can play with my meat here. Anyway, we're going to get grinding this, so come along for the ride. Woo. All right, so our first step here is taking this meat, which we crusted up a little bit here in the freezer, and we're going to run it through the 1/4-inch plate on the grinder. All right, here we are, first grind. Look at that, beautiful. Pork butt makes amazing, amazing sausage, salami, all that kind of stuff. A fabulous meat to fat ratio. We're going to be putting the first ingredients in here. All of the ingredients here are a percentage of this meat weight. All of that will be in the video description, and that way you can easily scale this for any size batch, which is really handy. We're also using metric because math. Anyway, here we go. First ingredient, what do we got here? This is our cure number 1. So this is like Prague Powder number 1. For that, your percentage might actually be a little bit different depending on the manufacturer and exactly what they have going on. So follow the manufacturer's directions for that. What do we got here?
Little starter culture for it.
Oh, starter culture. That is also the case with this. We're using Mondo Start SP, I believe, for this, which requires a certain quantity. But if you have a different culture, we're going for like kind of a tangier starter culture in this. So again, follow the manufacturer's instructions for that.
First part of the spices, you've got some dextrose, you've got your erythrobate, you've got garlic powder, and you have your ground black pepper.
Ooh. And those were peppercorns that we just threw in the spice mill and blasted them all up nicely here, rather than just using purchased ground pepper. Sprinkle this all around. I'm terrified. This meat was really cold.
Did you want to talk about this at all?
Oh yeah, and so as far as our dextrose and erythrobate went, we just used this fermento product here because it has both of those in it. So it is possible to find products that kind of make that maybe a little bit easier for adding. Okay, we're ready to mix.
Let's go.
I don't want to do it. Okay. This is always the worst part of the process here because this meat is cold and sucks all the heat out of you. So we're going to get it all mixed up. So after mixing that for a couple of minutes, we're going to add our next ingredients here.
2.3% of salt.
Woo, nice kosher salt going on. Sprinkle that all through here. This looks like a lot of salt, but it's a lot of meat. So there we are. If you don't like salt, fast forward through that part.
Mix.
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna start to mix this here. And again, after mixing here for a couple of minutes, we are ready to add some red wine.
1% by weight.
Ooh.
What did we use this time? Cabernet Merlot.
Ooh. Little blend action. Cool. Put that down and we'll work that in. And now we've got a second grind. And after that second grind, we're going for a third grind.
Easy, Chris.
And then the last step here for this regular Genoa salami is some whole peppercorns that we're just going to sprinkle in here. It was what, 0.5?
0.5%, yeah.
0.5%? Perfect.
Correction, 0.065% black peppercorns.
Sprinkle these in and just kind of, fold them in by hand. We'll see how that works. We're not trying to like super mix things up too much now. It's already had the 3 grinds here, which is pretty good. Just want to disperse those a little bit.
Little gems to find while you're enjoying the salami later on.
Crack your teeth. The laugh track upstairs. All right, we're going to set this aside while we work on the spicy Genoa salami. All right, so this half here is going to be our spicy Genoa salami. For that, we're going to be adding, this is 2% by this weight of this hot pepper paste that we picked up at the store. This is not terribly salty or anything. It definitely has some heat to it and some awesome color, so we're going to see what that does. We're going to do an initial mixing into here, and then we're going to put this through the grinder. And now you can see how this turned out color-wise here. It's got a little bit of an orange hue to it. We're going to fire this through the grinder. Now just before a third grind, we're going to add a little bit more. So that's another 1% of that, of that hot pepper paste, which takes it to a total of 3%. And we've got our crushed chili flakes here, and that is 0.065%. That's the same quantity as we put in peppercorns in just the regular version here. So I'm going to give this a little mix, and then we're going to grind it again and go from there. Slide this on here. What are the size of these casings again?
50 millimeter, 61 centimeters long.
Ah, perfect. Here we are. And
Ready?
fire in the hole. This is using the largest little nozzle here on my brand new Haka stuffer. Very excited about that. Funnel. I am having fun. Little swingaroo, remember?
Yeah. Duncan had the technique.
He did have to have the technique. I feel like I don't quite have it. Hey, now here we are. I am just going to give this some little pokes here with my sausage pricker, and I close that up using my it's making noises there. Close that up using my little hog ring pliers here and some 1/2-inch hog rings. So good to go. Let's get the rest of these done. Ooh. And now we are just stuffing the spicy Genoa salamis here. And woo, right there, perfect. Snagged.
So now that we have these all in the casings, we just wrap them in some plastic wrap, and we've got them here in the curing chamber. We're going to be increasing this temperature a little bit here up into the mid 80s and let them ferment probably for a few days. We've got them wrapped in the plastic here just so that we're not going to be increasing the humidity in the chamber itself and risking some mold issues with the higher temperature and higher humidity. So yeah, hopefully that all goes well. So we took these, we threw the date on there, we also got the original weight, and then this bottom number here is the weight with a 35% weight loss. We're shooting for between that and 40%. This is kind of the minimum that we're looking for. We got that on all of these here. Look at that beautiful salami. So then the other thing that we're going to do here is actually just give these a little spritz down. We mixed up some potassium sorbate and we're spraying these down. We have played around with actually inoculating with mold before, but we found it never really took the way that we wanted it to in a lot of cases. And then if I wind up throwing some other charcuterie in here, I might not necessarily want mold on that. So honestly, we have enough going on here with the flavors of the seasoning and the fermentation and all that. I don't really need the mold.
And not to mention just vacuum sealing and packaging with that white mold creates quite a slimy mess down the road.
Sticky. So here we are hanging in the curing chamber. Got some stainless hooks. Those are hanging like this. Fantastic. Here we are 2 weeks in. Some of the landies that went in at the same time here, these Landjägers, a few of them have come out. I find with this curing chamber, because of the location of this fan, it's a little closer to the front. Stuff at the front end is dry aging and losing weight just a little bit quicker. That smaller salami that I had hanging right at the front, that one did hit a 35% weight loss yesterday, so that was 13 days in. I took it out. These other ones are getting pretty close here. We do have a little bit of white mold development that has happened in here, even with that potassium sorbate. Yeah, that's great though. I mean, flavor country. So gonna let these keep going till we hit that weight loss. After 3.5 weeks, more of these here are ready to come out. We have hit our target weight, so I'm going to pull them out. I'm just gonna weigh each one to make sure that we have hit that. Well, because I'm a man of infinite patience, I have let these sit for a couple of weeks here, just equalizing. It's time to test them, so let's do it.
I'm going to slice into these vacuum bags here. Starting off with the regular Genoa salami. Let's see what that looks like. Fantastic. And now, of course, I still have this casing on here, as you can see, and peels off really nicely. So let's go ahead and slice this up. And I also opened up the spicy Genoa salami here. So we've got both of these that we can test out. I'm going to do that on my Avantco 10-inch slicer here. Just ripping these things off. You can see coming off just like that. Beautiful, thin little slices. Get some of these regular Genoas, and I'll try out some of this spicy. And once again, it's coming off really quite nicely here. Let's sample. All right, let's see if it was worth it. Regular Genoa. That's nice and soft. That meat just melts in your mouth. Really great ratio of the fat to meat in there. I really like that. Some people who like a slightly drier salami might want to push that more to 40, even possibly 45% weight loss. We went a little on the light end there. Still totally delicious, and it'll be shelf stable for a long time if you keep it cold and vacuum sealed. Now, as far as the flavor, we're getting lots of that pepper in there. Not too much. It's not really spicy or anything like that, but definitely like that black peppercorn sort of flavor going on. I think maybe just a little bit coming out of the garlic and the red wine that's in there. But this is like a really kind of, delicate salami. It's got just a nice little tang there from that culture that was put into it. Beautiful. Now, let's check out this spicier one. This one actually seems like it's just a touch drier. Flavor-wise, yeah, there's a little bit of heat, and there's some of that pepper flavor, like that kind of red pepper flavor to it that's in there. Just a little bit of heat. I think that, like, if I was going to call that, I'd probably call this more of like a medium heat or a medium spicy Genoa salami. If you really want to give that some kick, maybe even double the red chili flakes that are in there. I don't know how much more, I'm going to have some more of that. I don't know how much more of that red pepper paste or that hot pepper paste you'd want in it. Could probably handle just a little bit more. That's super tasty though. Really nice, but even the kids that eat that, lovely. And I mean, if you really want to spice things up, eat some freaking hot sauce, right? So there you have it. Really fun, super cool thing to make there with that salami. I mean, yes, a little bit of specialized equipment, grinding it, stuffing it, curing chamber, whatever, right? But if you have the equipment, it's very much possible to make some super delicious Genoa salami and play around with that recipe a little bit if you want. So if you have a chance, give it a whirl and let me know how she goes. And until next time, keep her at 11.